When it comes to interior design, I am into folk. My friends are into minimalism, but I am into folk. Thus, I am extremely proud of my one wall with my Orlakieli multi-stem wallpaper. It is a perfect mixture of mid-century modern design and folk motifs. It just makes me happy whenever I look at it. Really, it is the wallpaper of dreams. So what if, just imagine yourself in my shoes. At one point, you're scrolling Instagram, like one does, and you come across a knitting pattern for a sweater that reminds you of your dream wallpaper. And then the next weekend, it is a clearance sale of your local yarn store. I do not have to paint a picture here, right? We are going to make a sweater lightly based off of my Orlakieli multi-stem wallpaper. I say lightly because the design we choose is the Polina sweater by Tetis Knit Garden, or I don't know what her exact name on Ravelry is, but I will put it here. Picture of the pattern, name of the designer. It's not entirely the multi-stem, but you see how I drew the inspiration for this video project? And another thing why it is not entirely me recreating my wallpaper into a sweater is I chose very different colors. This is Rowan Moordale, 70% wool, 30% alpaca, and 100% soft. As the good little knitter that I am, I made a gauge swatch, which showed that, and this will surprise absolutely no one, I had to downsize on my needle and not knit it on 3.5mm needles, but 3mm needles. This gauge swatch also kinda had me doubting my color choices, but only for a moment. So for this project I of course researched the lives of both Orlakieli and Polina Pullover, because I was very interested in what these two women that created this magnificent folky interior design looked like. Now, folky interior design is maybe not the right category for Polina, but we'll get there. When researching, I really wished that I could be more like Orlakieli. It is noted that she does not send anything into the world that is not perfect. She works super meticulous, releases one design a year, but that design has to be absolutely perfect. And when I personally look at videos made by other YouTubers that I admire so much, I find their work very perfect as well. It's like almost cinematic videography. The music is on point, it looks so well scripted, they're witty, funny, know when to say jokes. And then I look at my work and think, well, that is clearly made by a chaos goblin. And in that sense, now that I've researched her a little bit, I feel more akin to Polina Pullover. I feel a sort of connectedness, a sort of sameness. Polina, a Ukrainian artist, whenever she had a little bit of allowance, she bought brushes and paints and just started to paint all over her house. There is not a single spot in that house that is not painted, and she started to paint whatever she was living through. Her house became a living, breathing, colorful diary. The house is the artwork in itself. And I feel that is kind of a little bit what I do. All these little clips of video that are smooshed together in one piece are just the reflections of how I feel in a day, what I work on in a day, and together they make the artwork. Polina's work is not for everyone, and my work is not for everyone, but the right audience will admire it. I hope. Sadly though, Polina's house was destroyed during the current state of affairs between Russia and Ukraine, when one of the dams nearby was destroyed and the house completely flooded. Oh, and for both you Irish people and Ukrainians alike, please excuse me if I pronounce their names incorrectly. As a person who has a name that will be pronounced incorrectly by everyone that doesn't speak Dutch, I am aware of this problem. But also, is it really a problem? Like, my name is so Flemish that it even sounds weird when Dutch people say it.
Enough of that yapping. Let's get to the knitting.
So I was going for this aesthetic flow of knitting shots that would show the evolution of the yoke. But then I realized, aesthetic, schmesthetic, I have thoughts, I want to talk to you. But for those who like aesthetic shots, it's looking pretty decent. When I was making my gauge swatch, I was like, oh my god, I chose the weirdest color combination. What did I think? It's not even contrasting enough. But now that I have like almost an entire flower on there, I'm pretty happy with it. It makes me happy to look at just this bright orange in this field of green. A second thought that I have. This pattern is like a final exam for your skills in catching floats. If you want to train catching floats, the Polina sweater is a thing that you could try. See these leaves? At some part it's just one big line of orange. Luckily for me, I am winging this exam of catching floats. I'm pretty good at it. I'm also really humble. I have finished the first flower motif. My living room doesn't have the best lighting, but we're doing with what we have. But first flower motif. And I'm now working on a second set of short rows. I have said, not on camera, but in public, that short rows are my nemesis. I am plowing through them now. The fact that this is a green and orange sweater is helping a lot, because green and orange together with yellow are like my feel-good colors, my mental health colors. As also evidenced by my childhood bedroom and my living room. Let's continue. We can conquer these short rows. Yesterday, my friends and I had a Lord of the Rings marathon, which of course means that I had all the time in the world to finish the body of my Polina sweater. So I think it is time to give it a fit. I mean, yeah. I think this blousing might get fixed with blocking. Yeah. But yeah, yes, I love this. Perfect fit. It's not riding up anywhere, it's not weird. The pattern actually has 3 different types of colors, and I went for the largest one right now because I can still make a folded collar if I want to. But I didn't want to pin down that decision already. What do you think about this ruffled mock neck? Should I keep it? I think it's very quirky, different. It's sleeve time. So when my friends and I did our Lord of the Rings marathon this weekend, I got a gift from one of my friends, even though it is not my birthday and there is also nothing special happening. It was just a spontaneous gift. My best friend is a quilter and she just wanted to make a quilt. It wasn't really fitting in her house, so she was like, to whom can I give this? Who is very much into folk? Do you see this? My friends know that I am very much into retro folk motifs and earthy colors. I'm so happy with this. I just wanted to share. This has nothing to do with the Polina sweater. Nothing at all. I just wanted to share. I hope you're happy. Because I am. Friends, this is my outfit today. And I chose it in particular to highlight these earrings that I got from, I think they're called Magic Lamp Glassworks, a Belgian glasswork artisan. I will post the Etsy shop in the description if you're interested. But there is an important development. I finished my Polina sweater. So, yeah, I'm just going to change outfits because I am way too excited to wear this. I promise I will block it eventually, but right now I just want this against my body. I want it. So, it's done, it's done, it's finished, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful, I love it. Let's make some pretty shots, right? So as previously stated, I am in love with this sweater. Then again, I am very much into folk, so these motifs are just bringing me absolute joy, especially the color combination. Who can look at this sweater and not be instantaneously happy? Also, some points of recommendation of this specific design, this pattern. I mean, Teti Lutzak, the designer, has so much attention for detail in this pattern. Like the color, the ruffled mock neck collar. What's this? I haven't seen this before on any pattern. And it's actually pretty simple, but it's so beautiful and such a quirky, awesome little detail. And then a pearl bind-off on the sleeves. You don't see that often, but it just adds a little bit, again, quirk, folk to the entire design. It's not something to be ignored. It adds to it, and I think that's a sign of great designmanship, or design womanship in this case. Stuff that you might want to know is that I knit the smallest size, so the small, I guess, is the smallest size. I am a 30-inch bust. Fits perfectly. And I had, if you remember, had to go down one needle size to achieve gauge. So, and still fitting my bust, pretty neat. Pattern line, going the thin route so you can actually see. Goes completely straight over both bust and back. Nice. Good design work, Tati. I don't know. Which brings me to the point that I realize it's probably Orlakieli and not Orlakieli, but same counts. You pronounce my name correctly and I shall pronounce your name correctly. I just keep looking at the viewfinder instead of at the lens just because I like seeing what I'm seeing. This color combination is just absolutely joyous, magnificent, chaotic. I'm glad that I went this vibrant. Yeah, this one small point of critique that I have, which is not directly intended to the sweater I am wearing, because I am wearing it, is that, you see, the sleeves, I've knit them exactly as described in the pattern, and they run a bit short. For me, that's absolutely perfect, because I don't like my sleeves to be too long, because I'm always doing stuff, and sleeves are getting in the way, so this is perfect length for me. But I am not a very tall human, so I think people with longer arms might want longer sleeves, and maybe also a little bit broader sleeves. They fit perfectly to my arms, but I'm also not very muscular in my arms. They're very tight sleeves. This might be a problem for some people. It isn't for me. It fits me perfectly. And I have a long sleeve dress underneath. See? That's the main thing. I think the sleeves are a bit short and small for other people, not for me. But I can imagine that it could be for others. But otherwise, I am very much into this sweater, probably as much as I am into folk. And I will most certainly knit from this designer again. This was very enjoyable, a very readable pattern, even though she makes this weird abbreviation of call instead of just K-all. Like, why are you omitting the space? There is plenty of space to keep that space. That's my only gripe. Anyway, if you like these kind of fiber shenanigans, and maybe you could like, comment, or subscribe. But of course, that is all up to you. And as for me, I will see you in the next video. But maybe, before we do that, you could look at some more knitting videos in this playlist over here. Bye!